Daniel Gallegos, MuleRiderAthletics.com, here with defensive coordinator Josh Lawson in the aftermath of a win for the Mule Riders. Coach, defensively, I think that was definitely the star here in this game. Your defensive unit held Arkansas Tech to only 25 yards rushing. That was on 30 attempts. A very significant turnaround from a week ago. You faced a team that obviously features the run almost exclusively in Harding. How did it feel to come out there and stop the run like that in the total?
Well, you know, I know that we got the type of guys that can fit the run, that can play the run. Obviously, last week playing the triple option, playing the flex bone, and you only play it once a year. Sometimes the guys it's hard for them to get in that mindset. But you know, we came out this week, we practiced them hard. We went full speed a lot this week. We worked them, and they came out and responded. I felt like A.J. Steele played a heck of a game, but on top of that, you look at Cornelius Watson, he's in the backfield all night. Calvin Lyons showed up tonight like he's not showed up all year. Paul DeCoya, as a freshman, that kid's playing lights out. And then you look at Philip Garr, who's he is, every down that kid gives you what he has and plays a great job. You know, our D-line played great, and then, you know, our linebackers played almost every snap of the game, our starting linebackers, and they did a great job. So felt really good about our run defense, and then we had some safeties helping there. Elgin Moore came in and made a lot of good plays, and Mario Thomas as well. So I felt like our run defense did a really good job stepping up this week.
You know, talk a little bit about those defensive backs. Arkansas Tech was able to move the ball a little bit through the air. I think they passed a little more than what they had coming into this game. But they did lights going out. They did a very good job when they needed to make plays, coming up with an interception and some key passes defended. Talk about your defensive back.
Well, you know, they really went at Chris Wilson all day. You know, he's a shorter guy, and they got some taller receivers. And you knew they was going to go at him. He knew they was going to go at him, and he just kept fighting and kept fighting. He gave up one or two passes. I felt like the best play of the night was one time he was beat, and he intentionally got a pass interference. And it's better to get that 15 yards than it is that 45 yards. I felt like that's a smart play from a kid who has come in. He had to come in for Quan Warren, who's hurt now, and Jeremy Creighton, who's hurt now. And so he comes in as maybe the third or fourth corner, hadn't played as much, but he played a great game. And then you got Vincent Stewart on the other side, who's just been solid all year. You know, he just covers his butt off all the time. You know, and they challenged those guys with those tall receivers all day and got a few passes and got a few yards on that. But at the end of the day, those guys played a lot of man defense, and those guys did a great job. And then again, you look at Elgin Moore. I mean, this is his first time starting at safety all year. He comes in there, and I think he even had an interception down in the end zone, and he just did a heck of a job. And Mario Thomas is just solid, plays great every game. You know, he had a chance for a pick to make it when it was 21-7 down here in the end zone, and he made a great play on the ball. It just went through his hands, and the receiver made they had a great throw and catch. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes you can have great coverage, and it's just a great throw and catch. But I felt like our DB stepped up to the challenge tonight.
Appreciate it very much for your time. Again, that's defensive coordinator Josh Lawson. Mule Riders with a big 21-14 win over Arkansas Tech. The defense was definitely the stars here tonight. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Daniel Gallegos, MuleRiderAthletics.com, here with senior middle linebacker A.J. Steele after the Mule Riders' 21-14 win over Arkansas Tech here at Wilkins Stadium. And A.J., the win, a big win, obviously coming off of a loss at Harding, but more impressively, I guess, was on the defensive side of the ball. You were a big reason for that. 11 tackles. Talk a little bit about the defensive effort of the team tonight.
We were just all one family, all on the same core with being cohesive. That's all it took, being cohesive.
You know, you guys come off as a defensive unit, coming off of a game last week against Harding. Obviously, the rushing number, you look at it, it jumps off the stat sheet, but that's what Harding does. They run the football. So talk about kind of the preparation through practice this week, knowing that number more or less is just a result of their offense, and how you guys were able to come out and focus, and the end result during the game, 25 yards rushing on 30 attempts for Arkansas Tech.
Well, we put that loss in the past, and we just had to focus on this week. And we had a good, hard week of practice. You know, everybody stayed on the same page. Everybody was hungry. Everybody wanted it. We didn't need to take another year.
Looking ahead, you've got homecoming next weekend, also Hall of Fame game. Now the Mule Riders are 10-2 at home, going back to 2012. So obviously, when you play at home, you have a very good chance of winning. Talk a little bit about playing in front of the home crowd and being able to do it next week.
It's just the atmosphere. You know, we got people on our back, people on our bandwagon, you know. They just give it that extra that we need, you know. So being at home is always an advantage.
We appreciate it very much for your time. Again, that's senior middle linebacker A.J. Steele, Mule Riders, big winners 21-14 over Arkansas Tech. Thank you very much.